What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be walking you through my Revenant Prime build along with my Burston Prime Incarnate and my Dual Toxicist Incarnate builds. These are the same setups I used to solo the weekly Archon Borealis in my last video. I would recommend this setup to anyone who wants to do the harder content in the game while not thinking too much about it. So let's dive in. Let's talk about my Revenant Prime build. My Revenant Prime build is all about stacking ability strength for Mesmer skin stacks, which is the key to keeping you alive, and here's how it works. Well, Mesmer Skin works in a very simple way. Mesmer Skin gives you damage negating charges based on your strength. As long as you have these charges, damage is redirected from your shield and health to the Mesmer Skin charges. This makes you nearly invulnerable. Plus, Mesmer Skin is very spammable and a very energy efficient ability. To stack strength, I use 4 major mods. Those are Transient Fortitude, for the ability strength increase but a slight decrease in ability duration. Umbral Intensify, which is a very powerful Umbral mod. Blind Rage, which is a very powerful ability strength focus mod, though it decreases your ability efficiency. And Augur Secrets, which is a very powerful Augur mod, so it stacks with other Augur mods in the set and gives you 24% ability strength. All these 4 mods are crucial for this build, so make sure you have all of them. All of them are pretty easily farmable, even Transient Fortitude and Blind Rage, and while Augur Secrets is also easily farmable, and you get Umbral Intensify just by playing the game, so there is no reason to not have these 4 mods in your kit. Additionally, I use Mesmer Shield, which is Revenant Prime's Augur mod. This boosts my Mesmer Skin strength by 50%, taking my charges from 17 to 21 with 300 strength. This is a nice bonus for a minimal cost since I got this Augur mod for 10 plat. But if you don't have this mod or you just don't want to buy it or farm for it, feel free to replace it with Continuity for some duration for your ability 4, which I'll get to it in a second. And you can also use Streamline for some energy efficiency, or basically can just use any other mod which does not take away from your strength. For extra survivability, I've added Rolling Guard. This grants an invulnerability window and removes the status effects, which helps you if you ever run out of Mesmer Skin charges. If you feel that you don't need it for whatever reason, again use any other mod which does not take away from your strength. Though if you want to replace it, I would highly replace it with some kind of survivability mod. For example, any of the fiber mods or the redirection mods or some vitality mod or adaptation, which is also a pretty good option. Now for the energy efficiency, I use Prime Flow, which increases my energy max, Equilibrium, which makes it so that my energy pickups give health and health pickups give energy. Basically, I collect more energy. And Corrosive Protection. This is not for my energy efficiency, but it is an aura mod, so it gives me more capacity while also giving me a little bit of armor strip before even I start the fight. So it's really good. For my Revenant Prime's 4th ability, I have swapped it with the Helminth Roar, which is Rhino's ability. Roar boosts weapon and ability damage based on your strength, making it synergize perfectly with Mesmer Skin. This gives me more survivability and more damage also now with Roar based on the same type of stat. I also use Arcane Energize for energy replenishment and Molt Augmented for extra ability strength. Next, let's talk about my Burston Prime Incarnate rifle build. I've built it around the corrosive status, which is great for armor stripping as well as boosting damage over time. Let's talk about the mods one by one, starting with Galvanized Chamber. This is a key mod for multi-shot. It provides an insane increase compared to the Split Chamber, which is the base mod for this. So if you can get it from the Arbiters of Hexus or just buy it for plat, use it. I highly recommend you doing so. If you don't have it though, Split Chamber is a decent fallback, but it's not as strong as Galvanized Chamber. Serration is a staple mod for damage, so I think most of you guys must already have it. Shred. This mod adds fire rate and punch through, which is crucial. If you don't have Shred, I recommend mods like Metal Augur or Rifle Elementalist. They offer some punch through and status damage in case of Rifle and Elementalist, but not as much as Shred. Critical Delay. This mod is a bit of a grind to farm through Orc and Vault runs. If you don't have it though, you can use Point Strike, but it comes with way less critical chance than Critical Delay. Stick with Critical Delay for the best results. It's free to farm, so I highly recommend you doing that. Next comes Bladed Rounds. This is mainly for the crit damage. If you don't have it, you can try using something like Vigilante Ornaments for more multi-shot, or something like Hunter Munitions for a bit of slash damage, though it still won't give you the insane boost of crit damage that it gives. So remember that it's not really like a replacement for this, but if you just don't have it and don't have anything else, you can just use multi-shot at least. Infected Clip and Stormbringer over here work together to give me that sweet corrosive damage for armor strip, and as well as dealing extremely high damage to most enemies. And lastly, Vital Sense. This is basically just crit damage again. Again, if you don't have Vital Sense, I would recommend using Heavy Caliber over here, which is another corrupted mod, so you can get it through Orokin Vault runs. But again, Heavy Caliber is not really like the best option out there over Vital Sense, and I would genuinely just recommend getting Vital Sense since it adds so much to the crit damage. Let's talk about the arcanes. Over here, I'm using Primary Deadhead for more damage, though you can also use Primary Merciless as an option. Deadhead basically will give you more damage on the basis of headshots, and you want to be hitting at least a few headshots to get your Incarnon up. So Deadhead is a really good option. I recommend that. But let's say your Primary Merciless is on a higher rank, or you just don't have Deadhead, then using Primary Merciless is completely fine. Another mod that we ought to talk about over here is the Gilded Truth mod, which is an augment mod for Burston Prime. It gives you insane fire rate boost, 80% fire rate, which is actually pretty crazy, but I would still recommend you stick with the mods that I mentioned, because with Gilded Truth, you also can run into the problem of sometimes using way more bullets than you just need to anyways. I wouldn't recommend this for this particular setup that I am showing over here. Next, let's talk about my Dual Toxicist Incarnate build. This is hands down one of my most favorite guns, and also this build setup is one of my most favorite build setups in the game, just because how incredibly powerful this weapon is and how these mods just add to so much damage for this weapon. The Dual Toxicist Incarnate wouldn't be as strong without its unique trait, which is called Frenzy. With Frenzy, landing a headshot grants you plus 150% fire rate, plus 100% ammo efficiency, and plus 100% toxin damage for 3 seconds. This completely just transforms the weapon into an absolute god tier weapon. Now, one by one, just let's look at the mods, starting from Galvanized Diffusion. This mod is the key for multi-shot. If you don't have it, try Lethal Torrent as a substitute. It's nowhere close to being as strong as Galvanized Diffusion, but still it boosts fire rate and gives you multi-shot. So if you don't have Diffusion, just get it. But I would still recommend, heavily recommend you farm Galvanized Diffusion or just buy it with Plat. Second comes Galvanized Shot. This is a must-have for status chance. Since you will be applying a lot of status effects, boosting status chances is really crucial for that. If you don't have it, you can try other mods like Jolt for electricity and Sure Shot for basic status chance increase. Remember though, these base mods are nowhere close to their galvanized versions. So again, I would highly recommend farming Galvanized Shot or just buying it with Plat. Usually it comes down to 15 to 20 Plat at max. Hornet Strike, which is a standard damage mod for your pistols, you should just have it. Target Cracker is a mod that boosts crit damage, and if you have primed Target Cracker, it is even more better. So if you have the prime version of this mod, just use it. Creeping Bullseye, which is a corrupted mod that reduces your fire rate but gives you insane amounts of crit chance. Pair this with a fire rate mod like Anemic Agility to compensate for the fire rate decrease. Seeker. This mod is probably one of the most important mods in the setup because of its punch through, allowing you to hit multiple enemies. If you don't have Seeker, Pistol Gambit for crit chance or Lethal Torrent can work as replacements, but they don't give you the same punch through stat as this mod gives. Those two mods will give you other stats like crit chance, or lethal torrent will give you multi-shot and a bit of fire rate increase, but Seeker is really crucial. It is a very expensive mod as I remember, so if you still don't want to buy it, I would recommend using the other two that I just mentioned. But if you can buy it or can farm it, I would highly recommend you do so. Anemic Agility. This basically adds to the fire rate while taking away a bit of damage. The damage decrease is not that much since the fire rate increase is so high. It kind of just compensates itself for the damage decrease. And lastly, Prime Convulsion. This adds to the electricity damage. The Dual Toxicist already just does toxin damage due to its unique trait Frenzy, so you will be dealing corrosive damage. But if you don't have Primed Convulsion, you can just use the normal version of Convulsion. It will just work fine. Coming to the arcane setup, I'm just gonna be using the secondary deadhead. It works similarly as the primary deadhead, just for the secondary weapons. Again, if you don't have secondary deadhead or have a secondary merciless at a higher rank than your secondary deadhead, then you can also go forward with your secondary merciless, though I still recommend using secondary deadhead. So guys, those were my builds for Revenant Prime, Burston Prime Incarnate, and Dual Toxicist Incarnate. Perfect for those gaming sessions when you just want to chill and not overthink about the things in this game. These setups let you stay alive while dealing massive damage with minimal effort, so you can just enjoy the game without even trying hard. Let me know in the comments if you like these builds or if you have any suggestions for better setups. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any builds that you think might work even better. If you enjoyed the video and the builds, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this from me, consider subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned for the next video, and as always, GG's.